To sum up the story of Final Fantasy XV in a couple words, it's a tale of three bonds. The bond between father and son, the bond between friends, and the bond between a heroine and the people of the world.
We're trying to create real human characters in this realistic world. Our approach for incorporating fantasy elements is taking these magic spells and mystical creatures and making them real. In that sense, you could say Final Fantasy XV is conceptually in the realm of magical realism.
When first crafting the world and story of Final Fantasy XV, we didn't begin by saying, let's turn this part into an anime, and let's make this a movie. We began by creating a timeline of Noctis' life, when he was born, where he grew up, what motivated him, and so on. Then we determined which portions of that timeline we could feasibly include in the game. Once we realized what we couldn't fit into the game itself, we sat down and tried to figure out if there was any way we could deliver the complete story to players, and that's when Kingsglaive and Brotherhood were born. So rather than existing as individual entities, the various entries in the FF15 franchise are actually separate parts of a single whole, with each story presented in the most appropriate format.
The benefit of creating different pieces of media is very clear. We're able to bring in a new audience that might not have taken interest in FF15 alone. Through the CG film and the anime, we're able to create new points of entry for people who wouldn't have played FF15 otherwise. I think that's an incredibly good thing.
The bond between father and son is really the core of the story of FF15, which isn't to say there's something particularly unique about the way in which they interact. Noctis is just your average 20-year-old kid who respects his father and loves him very much, but is sometimes too proud or too stubborn to show it. Their relationship is typical of most fathers and their sons, and I think it's very relatable.
The protagonist, Noctis, is the crown prince of the Kingdom of Lucius. He'll definitely become an iconic character, in part because we've highlighted his growth over the course of the story. In this case, Noctis is royalty, and if you look at the kings and royal families of the world, you'll notice that they have a certain air about them in the way they interact with people. Thus, we've taken this character that grows as a human being, imbued him with the dignity and status of royalty, and designed the story around him. I feel Noctis will be able to stand with his head held high alongside the protagonists of other series.
Noctis and Luna are, as you know, engaged to be wed. Luna is a strong female figure adored by the people of the world. Conversely, Noctis is no more than your average 20-year-old kid, so a great disparity in their statuses might seem a bit odd. However, the two have shared a special bond since the time they spent together as children up until the present day. Thus, while there may appear to be a huge gap between them, just like the bond between father and son, I think players will also be able to feel the emotional connection shared between these two characters, one man and one woman, over the course of the story.
In order to reclaim the throne, Noctis overcomes many trials with his friends at his side, growing up along the way. The reverence he feels for his father spurs his maturation throughout the game, ultimately helping him accept and grow into his role as the new king of Lucius.
When creating FF15, we pondered what universal themes might resonate with all players, regardless of their country of origin or their individual preferences, and we decided to train the spotlight on the bond between father and son, the bond between friends, and the bond between the people of the world, the three pillars of the game. We aren't doing anything shocking. Instead, we've crafted a simple, standard story to which the living, breathing characters add depth and heart. However, I didn't do this alone. All the members of our staff have worked together to deliver this story and this experience for players to enjoy over the course of the game.